I think that brings us back onto you, Debbie. Serious subject of cancer.
Yes, it is. And cancer is a huge subject. So I'm literally covering it in little bits. So bear with me because there's so much to cover. And especially in the days where we're looking at turbo cancer. So this is a war against cancer. But the King has spoken. He's made a statement. Let's hear how it was reported.
We start tonight with some breaking news, and the King has just released a statement thanking the public for the support he's received since his cancer diagnosis on Monday. King Charles said the kind thoughts of the public had been the greatest comfort and encouragement. On Thursday, Queen Camilla said Charles was doing extremely well under the circumstances following the start of his treatment. Well, in his statement tonight, the King said, "I would like to express my most heartfelt thanks for the many messages of support and good wishes I've received in recent days. As all those who have been affected by cancer will know, such kind thoughts are the greatest comfort and encouragement. It is equally heartening to hear how sharing my own diagnosis has helped promote public understanding and shine a light on the work of all those organisations which support cancer patients and their families across the UK and wider world. My lifelong admiration for their tireless care and dedication is all the greater as a result of my own personal experience."
So whilst the King's made his statement, The Guardian released an article saying that there had been a surge in UK cancer patients going privately. Horrifying statistics further on in the article, you'll see that the proportion of patients in England waiting less than 62 days from an urgent suspected cancer referral or consultant upgrade to their first definitive treatment for cancer is 65.2%. But 1 in 10 people are being denied treatment within 31 days. And so they're being driven literally to go private. So this is seeing a huge surge in cancer, cancer questions and cancer tests. But it doesn't take too long. I'm sorry about this, everybody. This is the second time in today's news. So warning, it doesn't take long to find that Lord Blair is involved very heavily in the cancer industrial complex. And he's asking why the UK government must act urgently to become a global leader. And please remember that, a global leader in cutting edge cancer treatment. So why must the world act so quickly and the UK must be a global leader? Well, if we go and look at further into the article, and what he says is we're clearly looking at vaccines. So the world is on the cusp of a cancer vaccine revolution. Don't forget, we have 67 million people in this country, lab rats to the National Health Service, and many of them are being offered cancer tests. But if we looked a little bit further again, who is responsible for this? Well, remember Pfizer, BioNTech and the COVID-19 injection. Well, BioNTech have now vowed to provide 10,000 patients with personalised immunisation-based treatments, and they want to up this. But let's have a listen to what BioNTech have got planned for the United Kingdom.
Now, there's new hope for cancer patients tonight as the Health Secretary has signed a deal to speed up research into treatments. The agreement with pharmaceutical giant BioNTech means patients in England will get early access to trials exploring personalised therapies.
Our reporter Layla Hayes joins us in the studio. Layla, good to talk to you. It sounds encouraging, doesn't it? And it's all linked to the COVID pandemic. So tell us a bit more about it.
Well, during the pandemic, scientists and doctors from all over the world worked together to develop COVID vaccines much faster than normal, and they were also approved faster than normal. Now they want to do the same to help cancer patients. Now, we all remember when Margaret Keenan became the first person in the world to receive the COVID vaccine. That was, of course, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. And Britain has now become the first country in the world to sign up to a partnership with the German company BioNTech, which it's hoped will bring us closer to a cancer vaccine. Experts say it will use the same mRNA technology as the COVID vaccine, but will work in a different way.
And I don't know how many times we have said on the UK column how dangerous mRNA injections are. And clearly there is a link, or there appears to be a link between turbo cancer and mRNA. But the future of cancer treatment, according to Lord Blair, well, it's vaccines all the way. So it's either going to be individual vaccines, which are going to be using patients' own cells to target cancer, but that's really expensive. But the cheaper version, which will be rolled out in plentiful supply, I'm sure, is a broad spectrum mRNA. They call it a broad spectrum NRA, and this can be used off the shelf. And again, it's a lot cheaper. So how do we make the vision a reality, I wonder? Well, we establish a regime. We get vaccines to market quicker. And we're also going to award the MHRA as well £10 million. I think that's probably in the next slide, is it, where we say about the MHRA? No, sorry, have we jumped to the conclusion already? Sorry. So basically, this document is going for cancer vaccines en masse. Tony Blair has a huge cancer vaccine agenda, and it's going to all be mRNA. And we're going to see many more manufacturers coming into this. And they highlight this in the conclusion. It's all rounded up. Basically, the cancer agenda is a cancer vaccine. And it's not just Tony Blair, actually, that's got the cancer at the top of their agenda. It's also the WEF, who have got something called First Cancer Care. And this is the first stands for Fourth Industrial Revolution for Sustainable Transformation. But it's not just the WEF who've got a roadmap. Everybody's got a roadmap for cancer. It's big business. And here's the Cancer Research UK roadmap to the future. And you'll see who's the foreword written by. It's Sir Christopher Whitty, who's talking about basically testing healthy people, early diagnosis. And if you think about it, early testing was Grail, and that was Bill Gates's company that he founded with Jeff Bezos, and it was the Galleri trial. So all of these cancer tests, if you believe the tests, they're coming directly from Bill Gates's original company, Grail. But cancer doesn't escape behavioural science. And this is what I was so staggered about. And I'm not going to go into it in any depth. I just want to show you how broad cancer behavioural science is. So this is the Wolfson Institute of Population Health. This is at Queen Mary's. If we jump on, we can see it's also on the agenda at University College London, who have their own behavioural science and early diagnosis of cancer group. Now, if we look at, if we go on one again, and we can see who actually is funding this and what they're talking about. And this is a whole conglomeration of King's College, University College and Queen Mary's. And of course, let's not forget, they receive funding from cancer research, and cancer research receive funding from big pharma, like companies like Pfizer. Running this is somebody called Professor Christian von Wagner, who's the professor of behavioural science. But then let's go on to another behavioural science unit, which is at King's, the Cancer Behavioural Science Unit, and that's run by someone called Professor Jo Waller. She's a professor in cancer behavioural science. And then if we go on one again from there, and we can see what they're doing, the King's Cancer Prevention Group, they're specifically looking at cervical cancer prevention, cervical screening, and, oh, surprise, surprise, HPV vaccination. But you might recall that from last week, we looked at some of the statistics. So the House of Commons Library came up and published on 7th of February, the cancer statistics for England. And when we looked at the most common cancers in male and men and women, we could see in women, the cervical cancer was right down at the bottom with 2%. So that doesn't actually marry up very well, do you think? They're focusing on cervical cancer, and they are throwing an awful lot of money at it. Now, I just want to come back to an article that I wrote that was on the front page of the website for quite a long time. And I have to say that I do refer back to my own article quite a lot of times, because many of the bullet points that I put in with regards to the NHS long-term plan are actually spot on. And I want to take you to a bit that I wrote about, warning of what was going to go on with the cancer agenda for children. Cancer is a big business for children, and they're going to be offered new therapies. They're going to be screened, and all sorts is going to happen. But worryingly now, they've brought out the Children and Young People's Cancer Task Force. And I'm just thinking to myself, why is cancer in children such a big deal at the moment? But it clearly is. And they say that cancer is the leading cause of death in children aged 1 to 14. And I just want to remind people of what I said in my article on the NHS long-term plan too, because children's palliative care is being doubled from 11 million to 25 million. Now, my question is, why? Why are all these children being included in medical research and clinical trials? Clearly, there is a big cancer agenda in the UK, and it's one that I'm going to be spending a lot more time on in the future.
Debbie, thank you very much for that very heavy, serious subject, but it's quite incredible that health and cancer now appearing to come under these globalist plans, as if there's something else going on in the background. It's not just people becoming sick. There's a whole industry being made out of what's happening, and a lot more work to be done. But thank you for all your investigation.